Uh, Good evening, everybody. On this pleasant evening, a hearty welcome to the 25th session of WCOP training program on school counseling. This happens to be the last and valedictory session of this training program. On this auspicious occasion, I would like to extend my hearty welcome to the Chief Patron WCOP, Professor P.V. Ramurthy, Chief Patron and Chairman, Professor Girishwar Mishra, Patron and Chairperson of the entire training program, Professor Vedagiri Ganeshan, Patron, Professor R.N. Singh, President of WCOP, Professor B.G. Reddy, General Secretary of WCOP, Professor R. Subhashini, Treasurer of WCOP, Professor P. Suresh, the co-committee member and today's resource person, Professor A. Sudhakar Reddy. Special invitees for this session, Dr. T. Vimala and Dr. T. Bharati. I also extend my hearty welcome to the coordinator, Professor K. Ashok, and technical coordinator, Sam Garu, all the core committee members and executive members, and all the participants to this program. I feel it privileged to welcome you all to this final session of this entire training, 3 months training program. Now, I request our president, Professor B.J. Reddy, to give his presidential address.
Yeah. Once again, good evening, all. My teacher, Professor P.V. Ramamurthy, Chief Patron of this WCOP. Another Chief Patron, Professor Girishwar Mishra ji. Patron, Professor Vedagiri Ganeshan, sir, and Chairman of this training program. Another patron, Professor R.N. Singh. Then General Secretary, Professor R. Subhashini. Treasurer of WCOP, Professor V. Suresh. And today's resource person, Professor Sudhakar Reddy. Core committee member, Professor D.D. Vimala. Another executive committee member, Dr. T. Bharati. Core committee member, as well as the course coordinator, Professor Ashok. Then repertoire this 3 months certificate course on school counseling, Dr. Chinni Simon. Other core committee members, executive committee members, and beloved participants. I wholeheartedly welcome today's chairperson, Professor Vedagiri Ganeshan. Sir is also patron of this WCOP. And today's chief guest, Professor Girishwar Mishra ji. Then today's resource person, Sudhakar Reddy Garu. Once again, welcome everybody on this auspicious occasion. After 3 months, we are celebrating the valedictory session on 3 months certificate course on school counseling. Now, I am again handovering the mic to Dr. Chinni Simon to go ahead with the program.
Thank you very much, sir. I feel privileged and happy to present the report of this 3 months WCOP 3 months training program on school counseling. To briefly give you each session's report, first I would like to tell you what is WCOP and what is its objective. World Congress of Psychologists is the brainchild of Professor B.G. Reddy, who is the founder president of WCOP, with Professor R. Subhashini as its General Secretary and Professor V. Suresh as its Treasurer. It was inaugurated on 12th June 2021 with the motto Train Yourself and Train Others by Professor Meva Singh, who is the lifetime professor in the Department of Psychology, Mysore. The chief patrons of WCOP are Professor P.V. Ramurthy from SVU Tirupati, who is the pioneer of gerontology, and Professor Girishwar Mishra, the former Vice Chancellor of MGAHV University, and one in top 10 psychologists in the world, Professor Vedagiri Ganeshan, a famous counselor, and Professor R.N. Singh, the senior most professors in psychology. If you look into the WCOP website, you can know about n number of national and international webinars as well as workshops conducted within a short period of just 1 year. As mentioned earlier, the motto of WCOP is train yourself and train others. And the very objective of WCOP is to serve the needy both nationally and internationally through scientific counseling services. The advisory committee has planned a 3-month training program on school counseling. And for this training program, the number of participants were restricted to 25, and all the 25 members attended the training program regularly. This training program was virtually inaugurated on 1st May 2022 in the presence of chief patrons and patrons, the president and general secretary and treasurer of WCOP, all the executive committee members and core committee members, and the trainees. The program was chaired by Dr. Panduranga Swami, the retired DEO of Chittoor district, AP, and Professor S. Padmanabhaya, Professor of Education in SVU Tirupati. This training was virtually inaugurated by Professor Ganeshan, who is notorious and world famous counselor of this era and the chairman of this entire program. He is also the main resource person of this program. After the virtual inauguration, the resource person, Professor V. Ganeshan, has given asked by the trainees. The problems covered in the first session are irregularity of the students to the school, addiction of the students to mobile games, celebrations of birthdays in small groups after the school hour, which leads to differences between castes, religions, and communities, etc. Abnormal behavior of high school students like teasing and bullying, etc. The second session was held on 7th May 2022 with Professor K.N. Tripathi from Barkatullah University, Bhopal as chairperson, Dr. V. Shekhar, DU of Tirupati as chief guest, and Professor Aradhan Shukla as a special invitee. In this session, the chairperson, Professor Vedagiri Ganeshan, again had given solution to the following problems: isolation of a 15-year-old girl in school and at home, loss of interest in studies, abnormal and unusual sexual behavior of two boys aged 14 years in hostel, peer pressure upon a 30-year boy to play mobile games, and students of 10th standard addicted to alcohol. The third session was held on 11th May 2022 with Professor Madhurima Pradhan from Lucknow University as chairperson, Dr. S.D.B. Ramana, DU of PVP Manyam district as chief guest, and Professor Notan Kumar Dingujam from Tripura University, Agartala, and Sri D. Murthy, President of Rotary Club of Madanapalli, as special invitees. The resource person, Professor V. Ganeshan, again today, has given solution to the following problems: a 15-year-old girl's indifferent behavior towards her parents, a 9-year boy, shy behavior, irritated behavior of a 7-year-old boy who easily gets irritated and shouts at others, a 10-year-old boy looking dull and depressed, fear of peer group bullying regarding the use of Facebook, Instagram, etc. The fourth session was held on 14th May 2022 with Sri Y. Raghava Reddy, DEO, Annamaya District as chairperson. Professor AVS Madnawat from Jaipur as chief guest, and Dr. E. Srikanth from Government Hospital Nellore, and Dr. T.C. Mariam Thomas from the University of Kerala as special invitees. The resource person, Professor Ganeshan, had given solutions to the following problems in that session. The problems were named as behavioral problem of 13-year-old boy, a girl of 14 years distracted due to phone calls from a boy after winning the game, elder children bullying, teasing lower class children, and children not able to concentrate on schoolwork. Two boys of 10th class love the same girl and fight for her. Lying and stealing and aggressive behavior of a 9-year-old boy. The fifth session was held on 17th May 2022 with Professor Vedagiri Ganeshan from Bharatiya University as chairperson, and Dr. V. Satish Babu, District Governor, Rotary Club of Nellore, as special invitees. The resource person, Dr. P. Narayan, the Director of Counseling and Psychotherapy, Palakkad, had given solution to the following problems. Exam phobia in Hindi subject, a boy of 12 years having fear of speaking to strangers, a boy of 13 years having the problem of bedwetting, nail biting and very nervous to speak, fear of going to school in rural students, fear of seeing blood, and not showing interest in academic related issues. The sixth session was held on 21st May 2022 with Dr. V. Satish Babu, District Governor, Rotary Club of Nellore, as chief guest, Professor Rekha Singhal from Sri Sri University, Cuttack, Orissa, and Dr. G. Sujata as special invitees. The resource person, Dr. S. Gomati, an assistant professor and professional counselor, had given solutions to the following problems. Irregularity and postponement of classwork and homework, complaining behavior of a student of 7th class, unable to concentrate on studies at home, and easily distracted due to TV and other noises, inferiority complex in a 13-year-old girl, and a 10-year boy with very argumentative and dominating nature. The seventh session was held on 25th May 2022 with Professor V. Ganeshan as chairperson and Professor V.R. Shinde from SP Pune University as chief guest, Professor Surendra Kumar Sia from Pondicherry University as guest of honor, and Dr. M.V.M. Engatrao, President of WCOP of AP, as special invitee. The resource person, Dr. Pankaj Singh, Assistant Professor in Allied Institute of Psychology and Allied Sciences, Noida, UP, had given possible solutions to the following problems. A 14-year-old boy suffering from nightmares, a 9-year-old boy with aggressive and stubborn behavior, and irritable bowel syndrome. He also provided some techniques to, to bring such children, sorry, to bring such children out of these abnormal behaviors into normal pace. The eighth session was held on 27th May 2022 with Professor Jay Mangal Deo from Patliputra University, Patna as chairperson, Sri Y. Srinivasan Reddy, MLC AP as chief guest, and Dr. P. Venu, WCOP State Secretary, WCOP convener for Telangana State as special invitees. The resource person, Professor V. Ganeshan, a renowned business, organizational, and environmental psychologist, had given solutions to the following problems. A 10-year-old boy suffering from migraine, a 5-year-old boy awakens from sleep between 12 and 2 a.m. and tries to get out of house, and 15-year-old girl ashamed of her tone because she has a male or bass voice, and 14-year-old boy with self-demotivating and nervous behavior, a 15-year-old boy with a habit of masturbation. The ninth session was held on 31st May 2022 with Professor V. Suresh from Annamalai University, Tamil Nadu as chairperson, Professor A.R. Krishnamurthy, clinical psychological consultant and psychotherapist as chief guest, and Dr. Y. Jayantmala as a special invitee. The resource person, Dr. S. Gomati, an assistant professor and professional counselor, had given solutions to the following problems: fear of being alone, then claustrophobia, agoraphobia, mysophobia, and fear of seeing blood, examination phobia. The 10th session was held on 3rd June 2022 with Professor A. Sudhakar Reddy as the Chief Medical Officer in Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati as chairperson, Sri K.S. Lakshman Rao, graduate MLC for Krishna and Guntur districts of AP as chief guest, and Dr. A. Narayan Reddy, executive member, WCOP, as a special invitee. The resource person, Professor S. Gayatri Devi, Assistant Professor in Avinash Lingam Institute for Home Science and Higher Education for Women, Coimbatore, had given solution to the following problems: suicidal thoughts among the high school students, a 13-year-old boy with obesity problem not able to mingle in the group, students with stammering and stuttering, how to control nausea or vomiting sensation, a 13-year-old boy easily distracted and always disturbing other students in the class, and a 10-year-old girl and her younger sister abused by her own father. The 11th session was held on 7th June 2022 with Professor V. Suresh from Annamalai University as chairperson, Professor V. Ramchandran, core committee member as chief guest as guest of honor, and Dr. N. Mahesh Babu, secretary of Karnataka WCOP, and Dr. A.V. Rajashekar, convener of Andhra Pradesh WCOP as special invitees. The resource person, Professor Veer Ganeshan, a renowned business and organizational psychologist, had given solutions to the following problems: lesbianism, impact of social network upon students, a 11-year-old boy hurting himself when he fails to get first rank in his class, misbehavior of a 15-year-old boy with girls, high school boys coming to school and drinking alcohol, and a 15-year-old boy taking pleasure in dressing up like a girl. The 12th session was held on 11th June 2022 with Professor Panduranga Swami from former DU of Chittoor as chief guest, Professor M.C. Reddeppa Reddy, former professor as guest of honor, Department of Education, Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati, and Sri Muniswami, Welfare Officer, as a special invitee. The resource person, Dr. Kalyan Kenneth, Assistant Professor in PG Department of Madras School of Social Work, Chennai, had given solutions to the following problems. A 14-year-old boy with arrogant behavior abuses his stepmother. A 15-year-old boy misbehaves with lady teachers in the school. Muslim and Hindu students communal fights in the school and college level. A drunkard father misbehaves with his daughter in the absence of his wife. A group of irregular students disturb other students in the school, and a 14-year-old boy ran away with his class girl. The 13th session was held on 14th June 2022 with Professor Suresh from Annamalai University as chairperson, Professor S. Padmanabhaya, former professor and Dean, Education Department of Sri SVU University, Tirupati, as chief guest, and Mrs. P. Ramadevi, WCOP convener of AP, and Dr. Shankar Jyoti Kumar, General Secretary, Vijay Ayush Hospital, NGO, Tirupati, as special invitees. The resource person, Dr. P. Narayan, the Director of Institute of Counseling and Psychotherapy, Palakkad, had given solutions to the following problems: negligence of students towards classwork and homework, students with ADHD, a 17-year-old boy not good in communication and always comparing himself with others, a 13-year-old boy worried that he is not treated on par with his sibling and feels that he is unwanted child. He also spoke about the humanistic approach of counseling in that session. The 14th session was held on 17th June 2022 with Professor Beena, former professor and registrar of Osmania University as guest of honor, Professor S. Padmanabhaya, former professor and dean of education department of SVU Tirupati as chief guest, and Dr. Bhuneshwari from Padmavati Mahila College as a special invitee. The resource person, Professor V. Ganeshan, had given solutions to the following problems in that session. 15-year-old boy and girl sleeping together in the same bed, fear of heights, a 15-year-old girl having suicidal thoughts, a 13-year-old boy having tricky relationship with others and addicted to smoking and drinking, and a 15-year-old boy habituated to masturbation and withdrawal behavior. The 15th session was held on 22nd June 2022 with Professor A.R. Krishnamurthy from Kuvempu University and core committee member of WCOP as chairperson, Professor T. Bharati from Padmavati Mahila University Tirupati and core committee member WCOP as chief guest, and Dr. K. Balakrishnamurthy, PAS NGO Tirupati as special invitee. The resource person, Professor R. Subhashini, who is the Dean of Madras School of Social Work, Chennai, and also General Secretary of WCOP, explained in detail about the role of counselor and the important characteristics that a counselor should have for successful counseling, stressing on good communication skills, both verbal and non-verbal, emotional balance, and consistent behavior of a counselor to bring the desired change in the clients. The 16th session was held on 25th June 2022 with Matt Perelstein, CEO, EQ4Peace.org, North Carolina, USA as chief guest, Professor Aradhan Shukla, Chief Editor of the Journal of Mind and Society as chairperson, and Sri M.C. Babu Reddy, Accounts Officer, Nehru Yokendra Chittur as special invitee. The resource person, Dr. Chinni Simon, the coordinator and rapporteur of this training program, led the session with the topic Need of Counseling in Schools Today. She dealt with the physical issues like appearance, health and hygiene, social issues like child abuse, physical violence, students' relationship with peer group members, teachers, parents, and others, gender discrimination, psychological issues like stress, anxiety, aggression, and academic issues like low performance in studies, exam phobia, lack of interest in schoolwork, and lack of concentration, and social networking issues like addiction to television and mobile games, etc., which need counseling at school level. She asserted that counseling is needed now at this hour more than ever before at school level to bring positivity from negativity, to relaxed behavior from stress and anxiety, to happiness from sadness, to enjoyment to do things from feeling of compulsion, to love and sympathy from anger and aggression, and finally to acceptable and adjustable behavior from irritable and misbehavior. The 17th session was held on 27th June 2022 with Professor D. Sridhar Reddy from Ambedkar Open University, Hyderabad as chairperson, and Professor M. Suresh Kumar, WCOP President, Tamil Nadu, as a special invitee. The resource person, Professor A.R. Krishnamurthy, clinical psychological consultant and psychologist in Manasa Nursing Home, Shivamogga, led the session with the topic of process of counseling and formats of counseling. He spoke of the step process to follow to have a successful counseling. The 18th session was held on 1st July 2022 with Professor V. Suresh from Annamalai University and Treasurer of WCOP as chairperson. Professor A. Sudhakar Reddy, the Chief Medical Officer, Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati, as guest of honor, and Srimati Nalini, guest faculty Nellore, as a special invitee. The resource person, Dr. Bani Narula, Assistant Professor in the Department of Psychology at PG Government College for Girls, Chandigarh, led the session with the topic Legal and Ethical Aspects of Counseling. She spoke about confidentiality, dignity, professional relationship, while being the well-being of the clients, that are some of the important aspects that the counselor should bear in mind during the process of counseling. The 19th session was held on 5th July 2022 with Professor Gayatri Devi Avinash Lingam Institute for Home Science and Higher Education for Women as chairperson, Dr. Selvam Robertson, Principal Bethel Bible College, Guntur, as guest of honor, and Mrs. G. Anupama, clinical psychologist, Amara Hospital, Tirupati, as a special invitee. The resource person, Professor V. Suresh from Annamalai University, Tamil Nadu, and also the treasurer of WCOP, conducted the session with the topic Mental Health Disorders. He spoke of the importance of considering mental health issues in educational setting. He stressed the need for parents and teachers to work productively to promote positive mental health in children and need to be aware of the hidden signs of mental health issues so that the children can be properly guided. The 20th session was held on 9th July 2022 with Professor Shivkumar Chinti from Gulbarga University as chairperson, Professor Vimala, core committee member WCOP as guest of honor, and Dr. S. Vidyarani, WCOP convener for Telangana State as a special invitee. The resource person, Professor B.G. Reddy, former professor and director of distance education of Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati, led the session with the topic Stages of Counseling and Structure of Counseling. He spoke about 5 stages of counseling and 4 structures of counseling, also about the lead skills of the counselor and the setting of the counseling, which should be very homely and suitable to the needs and aspirations of the clients. The 21st session was held on 12th July 2022 with Professor Aarti Bakshi from Jammu University, Jammu, India as chairperson, Professor M. Srinivas from Bangalore University, Karnataka as special invitee. The resource person, Professor H.S. Ashok, former BOA, former BOS chairperson and faculty in the Department of Psychology, Bangalore University, Karnataka, led the session with the topic Group Counseling and Factors and Challenges Related to Group Counseling. He asserted that homogeneity and heterogeneity of the group and the group dynamics are very important factors, along with time, space, and session duration of the group counseling, while group policies and willingness of group members, autonomy, and non-biased judgment are equally important. The 22nd session was held on 15th July 2022 with Professor Dr. Neelam Rathi from PG Government College for Girls, Chandigarh as chairperson, Dr. S. Prashanti, scientist, Krishi Vignan Kendra, YSR district as special invitee. The resource person, Dr. Aarti Sangwan, assistant lecturer in Exam University, Bhubaneswar, led the session with the topic Significance of Counseling. She stated that mental health is a significant aspect of counseling. In India, a lot of motivational books and many spiritual gurus with their teachings are available for bettering our lives. Though advanced science and technology made our lives more comfortable, still life today has become very challenging. So to deal with these challenges and to come out of problems, we need counseling. 23rd session was held on 20th July 2022, with Professor S. Bhaskar, former professor of Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati, as chairperson, Professor M. Bhaskar, former rector of Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati, Professor Stanley Jaykumar, Dean Development of Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati, as guest of honor. The resource person, Professor B.G. Reddy, former professor and director of distance education, SVU Tirupati, led the session with the topic Process of Counseling. He gave a clear picture of the do's and don'ts of counseling process, what to promote and what to avoid, what to follow and what not to follow, and how to manage time and how to avoid suggestions. The 24th session was held on 23rd July 2022 with Professor A.R. Krishnamurthy, clinical psychologist, consultant and psychotherapist in Manasa Nursing Home as chairperson, Dr. N. Esther, Government Diet College, Rajahmundry, and Mrs. M. Vijay Kumari, retired lecturer in Diet College, Chittoor, as special invitees. The resource person, Professor V. Suresh from Annamalai University, Tamil Nadu, and also the treasurer of WCOP, conducted the session with the topic Goals of Counseling. He explained the goals of counseling for at school level and at college level and for family counseling in detail. With this, this will be the end of my report. I hope I hope I made myself clear in giving the report of this entire training program. Now, I request our chairperson of the entire session, Professor V. Ganeshan, to address the gathering for a few minutes. He needs no introduction. So Dr. Ganeshan, a renowned counselor,
Hello.
a very reputed counselor. So I request you now, sir, to kindly address the gathering.
Hello, fellow psychologists and counselors. I deem it a pleasure to be here this evening with regard to the valedictory function of the 3 months training program for counselors, school counselors. I am sure that the resource persons have been drawn from various parts of the country, right from Tamil Nadu up to North India, up to Jammu. People have come and it reflects the resourcefulness of our Professor B.G. Reddy involving people from various universities of India. So I would say it's a very successful program and I wish the participants to practice counseling and help their wards in their schools. I wish them all the best.
Thank you very much, sir, for all that you have been to us throughout this 3 months training program. Thank you very much once again. Now, I request our chief guest, Professor Girishwar Mishra, to speak a few words addressing the gathering. A word about Professor Girishwar Mishra. He is the former Vice Chancellor of Mahatma Gandhi Antarashtriya Hindi Vishwavidyalaya, Wardha from Maharashtra. He is an editorial board member of several national journals and regularly contributes to columns and articles in magazines on cultural, psychological, and social issues. He published several books and held several positions in various organizations. And recently, his name has been included in top 10 psychologists in the world. Sir, we are very happy to have you with us today. I request you now, sir, to address the gathering for a few minutes.
Thank you, Dr. Simon. I see many important colleagues here, and I extend warm welcome to Professor Ganeshan, Professor Reddy, and all the friends. I'm very happy to learn that a sincere attempt has been made by this new body of psychologists in an area of great significance. In contemporary societal scenario, the relationships are in trouble, and in almost all walks of life, across all stages of life, in fact, we find that there is need to provide counseling. I congratulate Professor B.G. Reddy for taking this initiative and organizing this program with a focus on school counseling. I learned from the presentation made by Dr. Chinni that almost all important aspects of life were addressed in the sessions, and I'm sure that the input that has been provided by the resource persons and the deliberation that has taken place must have provided a solid ground to understand the issues, learn some of the skills, and relate to the challenges which are being faced in the school context. I look forward to many more such interventions, and the UGC as well as the new education policy, everywhere there is a realization that mental health services have to be strengthened in the educational setup. And I see that the Congress, the organization that has been created, is going to play a key role in that context. I wish success to this organization, and I am sure that it will create a change in educational scenario, and it will also help to empower psychologists and other colleagues who are interested in the area of counseling. I express gratitude to Professor Reddy, who has asked me to share my thoughts. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your positive sharing. Now we have with us Dr. T. Vimala, who is the co-committee member of WCOP as our special invitee. I request her to speak a few words addressing the gathering.
Thank you, Dr. Simon, for giving me this opportunity. And at the outset, I want to congratulate, and really the participants are very fortunate enough to have varied sessions at macro and micro level. And they had all the theories and all the procedures, process of counseling at macro level, and micro level, they got every details of the present scenario, present challenges of the students from the renowned person, Professor Ganeshan, and other resource persons. This is really a great opportunity to all the participants to learn more about the counseling practice, and they can do very well, and they can help the students very well, and they play a major role in the mental health concepts of schools. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So nice of you. Now we have the executive committee member of WCOP, Dr. Bharati, as another special invitee. I request her now to speak a few words addressing this gathering.
Please go ahead.
Okay, sir. Now we have today's resource person and speaker, Professor Sudhakar Reddy. I request you, sir, now to take up the session and lead the session.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, sir. The today's chairperson, Sir Vedagiri Ganeshan, sir, and our chief patron, Girishwar Mishra, sir, and the president, B.J. Reddy, sir, and all the research people. Judy Mula, madam, here, Krishnamurthy, sir. So today, I present briefly about the sound mind and sound body. For a healthy mind, physical completeness and perfection is very important. And as per the WHO definition, the health is defined as complete physical, mental, and social and spiritual well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. So from this, we understand that the 4 dimensions of health: physical health, mental health, social health, and spiritual health. Actually, if we realize the mental health depends upon physical health, social health, and spiritual health. So all these 3 dimensions are the basis for mental health. And for that, and today we discussed briefly about the requirements of physical health, and particularly in school counseling, the development of the brain in children, it depends upon good nutrition. Our Professor B. Ramamurthy has done research on this in Madras, and they presented a lot of articles at that time. The brain development will complete by 18 months of age, and further it will be complete by 5 years of age. During this crucial period, the nutrition to the brain is very, very important for the development of the brain and nervous system. So what is that nutrition? It should contain carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, and trace elements. Any deficiency will lead to less development of brain and IQ. So the parents should be taught that the children should be fed with all these nutrients. And apart from that, the human body, as all of you know, is made up of 5 elements: Prithvi, Apaha, Tejo, Vayu, Akasha. Food, water, light, air, and space. So our human body should be exposed to all these 5 elements every day. That means Prithvi we get through food, and plenty of water intake is very, very important. 75% of the human body contains water only. So drinking healthy water is very, very important for the proper functioning of the brain. Then air, fresh air is very, very important. Then light, exposed to sunlight is very, very important. They have realized that Arogyam Bhaskara Dichet, all our health depends upon the sunlight. So last time in the Corona period also, people got exposed to sunlight and they got benefited. And to my wonder, they have done studies on the people who got coronavirus. The coolie workers who are working under the sun morning to evening, they never suffered from corona. Still, I don't know what is the cause. Maybe their immunity might be improved. But anyway, it tells us exposure to sunlight improves not only the vitamin D3, it improves so many things in the human body. So we should understand that and expose ourselves to human sunlight every day. And space, open space. Open space, moving or walking in the open space improves our mind and memory also. And they have done some experiments. Our mind functions in a lesser way if you are in a closed small room you are locked in a small room with less space. We don't know really the cause. The functioning is less. If you are in the wide open space under the sky, your mind works in more efficiently. Still, we do not know the cause, but it is true. So our human body should be exposed to good food, water, air, and light, and space. Now coming to the food is very, very important. And all of us, they have done a lot of research, and National Institute of Nutrition, Hyderabad, is still doing a lot of research on food intake in different parts of our country. And they have analyzed the rest of the countries also. And I have interacted with them. I have learned a few things from them. Firstly, our food, as in our Vedic literature, they said, Annat Bhavanti Bhutani. All the creatures are formed from food only. So should we take a lot of interest in food intake. This food again is of three types: Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. So sattvic food, all of you know, the food, the carbohydrates, dal, ghee, and the sweet food, all of you know the sattvic food. Rasic food is the one with a lot of chilies and very hot. That is Rasic food. And Tamoguna food, the food which is eaten 3 hours after it is prepared. In Bhagavad Gita also, Lord Krishna said, if you eat after preparing the food, if you eat it after 3 hours, it contains Tamoguna only. So we should eat within 3 hours, and every day, morning and afternoon and evening, we should prepare freshly. Never keep it in the fridge and eat it for days together, even 7 days. It will have Tamoguna, and we will get diseases also. Particularly the chicken and mutton and fish, they keep in the fridge. They eat it for 7 days also. They are all suffering from gastroenteritis, everything. So the three gunas are coming to us by these three: Sattva guna food, Rajoguna food, and Tamoguna food. So please take only Sattva guna food and avoid Tamoguna food. And actually, they have done a lot of research on the Rajoguna and Tamoguna food. Particularly, keeping the chicken biryani, mutton biryani in the fridge for 7 days and eating. In my experience, one coolie fellow was given chicken biryani 7 days after keeping in the food. The fellow ate it, and the next day morning, that fellow expired due to food poisoning. So please remember, don't keep in the fridge and then eat it after keeping in the fridge, preserving in the fridge. Always fresh food, and don't eat it after 3 hours for preparation also. And apart from the preparation, the way you take the food also is very important. It is very well given in our ancient Hindu culture, in our present Hindu culture also. We see in the Brahmin families that we should always take bath, then only you should take food. It's really very good. In my experience also, I have been practicing this for 2 years. I'm really enjoying. I take bath for 2 or 3 minutes and take food, morning, afternoon, night. I'm enjoying the food. I get a lot of appetite and will digest it. It's a very good thought in our Indian culture. Take bath, then only take food. Then sit on the ground in Padmasana and take food. That lot of explanation is there. And you can take food properly, and you can actually you take it for minimum 30 to 40 minutes. You should chew it properly, and the food should be half digested in the mouth only. Don't be in a hurry and swallow it or gulp it. Take more time. And while taking food, please don't watch TV and take food. Don't watch cell phone and take food, or keep on thinking about the complicated problems in your life. It's a fresh mind. It's a lot of respect to the food, and keeping all your concentration on the food. If you take it, chew it, and eat it, the whole food will be absorbed in you. and the food becomes your mind. That's what our Vedas say. Your food becomes your mind. So important for mind, because our mind is prepared from the food only. If you take sattvic food, you will get sattvic mind, rasic food, rasic mind, and tamoguna food, tamoguna mind. So in child psychology also, if the child wants to become brilliant, please give him sattvic food only, and teach him how to take this food. And then in NIN, National Institute of Nutrition, Hyderabad, I have interacted. They have told me beautiful points. The South Indian family, Brahmin families, the way they take food is highly scientific. How? They sit on the ground and all the family members eat together for the afternoon and night also. And they maintain silence while taking food. If you maintain silence, that means many people, in my experience, some people died while taking food because they were talking and chicken bone or fish bone has gone inside and they choked and died. So that prevents if you maintain silence while taking food. And also you can concentrate on the food. Then the NIN has observed the South Indian Brahmin family way of taking food. First they take water, then they take the chutney with the rice that increases gastric juice. Then they take dal, rice and ghee, which contains carbohydrates, fats and proteins. And they take all other items of the food, which contains minerals and then vitamins, minerals and trace elements. And after that, they take sambar, which contains a lot of protein and increases gastric juice also. Then they take rasam, which increases the motility in the intestines, which propulses the food forwards. And last item is buttermilk. Because the buttermilk, once you take, they have observed, it stops all the secretions in the stomach, mouth, and esophagus. And also, it sends impulses to the brain. Satiety center in the hypothalamus will be stimulated by buttermilk and curd. And once that is stimulated, it gives orders to the stomach to stop all the gastric juice production also. So after the taking curd rice or buttermilk with the rice, then you should stop eating. You should not take anything further. Then you take kildi also. That forms a layer in the esophagus, which prevents infection also. So that is the last item. After that, minimum we should give gap of 6 hours for the next meal, because the whole food should be digested. And you should always take mitahara, limited food. Why means the whole food should be digested. There should not be any undigested food, because undigested food is called ama, which becomes poison in the intestines. So there should not be any undigested food in the body. So you should take limited food so that the whole thing will be digested. Suppose we go to a marriage party, you are supposed to, you took more food until your esophagus, and okay, no problem. But suppose afternoon if you took it, that night you should fast. By fasting, the whole food will be digested. But next day morning, again you'll be fresh. So these small adjustments are very, very important to maintain our digestive fire in the stomach. Another thing is taking chicken, mutton excessively will cause, in the long run, cancer in the stomach and cancer in the colon. And Americans have realized it, and many people in America, they have stopped eating non-vegetarian diet. They have become vegetarians to prevent cancer in the large bowel, the colon, or in the stomach. So, what I have learned from NIN is the food should be easily digestible. At different ages, depending upon the digestive capacity, you should give them the food. And after digestion completed only, you should take the next meal. If you take it like that throughout your lifetime, your power of digestion will be maintained and you get well nourished, and your brain will be good, and you will have good mind in that brain, and you will progress in life. Another important thing is, after taking food, you must walk for at least 10 minutes, either morning, afternoon, or night, because that increases the blood supply to the stomach, and your digestion will be complete. Never sleep immediately after taking food. And before sleep, there should be 2.5 hours gap from your last meal and before sleep, because by the time you go to sleep, your stomach will be empty, should be empty. So these small principles, if you follow, and you will have excellent digestion power, and you can digest everything, and you will have, because of that, your healthy body and healthy brain and mind. And apart from this, what you have learned from Sanskrit slokas, ahara, nidra, bhaya, maidhuna. These 4 qualities are inborn for all creatures on earth, including human beings. They are not special for human beings. So, ahara is inborn quality. Every creature needs ahara. Ahara, nidra, bhaya, maidhunam. Nidra means sleep. Every creature sleeps. Human beings also. And nidra, bhaya. Bhaya means fear. The right amount of fear is necessary for the protection of the human beings or any creature, because that fear God has kept in them to protect them. So minimum amount of fear is necessary. Then after that, maidhanam. Maidhanam means sexual life. It is exists in all creatures on earth, and particularly the sexual life, that is a sacred, legitimate, periodical sexual life with a wife only, is necessary for good mental health. So all these things are necessary for physical well-being, and also the mental well-being, depending upon the physical well-being. Your physical well-being depends upon your good food, good sleep, and then some amount of fear, and good sacred sexual life with your own wife. They are all necessary for good mental health. So my message is, we should be exposed to all Panchabhutas every day: food, water, air, light, and space. And then food is very, very important. We intelligently take food, and then easily digestible. And why we cook food means we don't have an enzyme called cellulase. Cows and ox, they have cellulase enzyme, so they can digest all the vegetables. But we cannot digest them because we don't have cellulase enzyme. So we have to cook them and eat it. And balanced diet is very important. You need not have rich food like everyday biryani, not necessary. Balanced diet with the necessary food, that is carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, and trace elements. And all of you know, you should take food the limited quantity with all the ingredients like medicine. If you do that, you need not take medicine for any disease. So a good mind, mental health depends upon good physical health. And Vedagiri Ganeshan sir, I have observed, he has beautifully said in his lectures, he is told so many things to solve the psychological problems, that his concept is adjust the physiology, coming back to normalcy, and hormones in the body and biochemistry also. If you, by some maneuvers, if they come back to normalcy, the psychological status will be normal. I really appreciate it. I have tried it in my own patients also, and I have become successful. Not using English medicines, I have tried these methods, and some of them have really improved. I really appreciate Vedagiri Ganeshan sir, and his teachings are necessary for future generations also, for treating the patients, not by medication, but by counseling scientifically. That means we are adjusting to coming back to normalcy, physiology of the person and biochemistry of the person and hormones in person, because there is from mind to body, there is psycho-neuro-humoral response. Psycho-neuro-humoral response. So by that, the whole body is controlled by the mind. So if the mind is healthy, the body will be healthy. In vice versa, if the body is healthy, the mind will be healthy. So let us use not only the physical health for mind, mental health, good social health also very important, and spiritual health also very important. So to have a good mental health, we have to depend upon good physical health, social health, and spiritual health. So let us improve in all these dimensions so that we can have good mental health. So thank you very much, sir, for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, sir. You have given us really a very, very useful information about what to eat and how to eat for maintaining physical health, and all the 4 aspects that are needed: ahara, nidra, bhaya, and maidhanam, for good mental health. Thank you very much, sir. Definitely, we will try to practice them. Now, I request our President, Professor B.G. Reddy.
Chinni Simon,
Sir,
1 minute. Now I request Professor V. Suresh, Treasurer of WCOP, kindly just speak a few words. Okay. Then I request another core committee member, Professor Krishnamurthy. If he is available, kindly speak. Now I am leaving just the choice to the participants to speak a few words. Rama Devi. Kindly give a note, 1 or 2 sentences about the program.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be a part of WCOP and in the training program for 3 months, which we don't know how it went on. It was just not like 3 months, but it was just like 1 month, because the sessions, solutions what we got it in this for each and every problem. So there are many solutions we found it. Though they were simple, some are very simple, some are little time taking, but everything is possible if the counselor or the parent has the patience to mold the child. And also the key part which they were discussing about the how a counselor has to be, what are the counseling goals, the need of counseling, and the situations where the counseling is needed. Everything were very well presented, expressed by all the resource persons. And I would like to thank all the resource persons who have given us valuable suggestions or valuable, what we can say, the theme of the main things which a counselor has to learn it. So I thank all the resource persons from the core of my heart for making this program a successful one and run smoothly. So I would like to thank all the core committee members and B.G. Reddy sir, Chinni Simon madam, and Ashok Kumar sir for conducting the program so smoothly. And I'm also looking forward for the family counseling training session. So thank you very much for providing such. I would like to thank for the dedication that WCO has put forward to make this program successful, and the train yourself and train others the motto of the WCOP, which is very apt for this program, for this WCOP. Thank you one and all for their patience in listening, in writing the records and presenting them. And I thank you one and all.
Ramadevi. Next, Durga Bhavani.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. I am very much delighted to be part of this program, and it was very enriching for all of us. And we also coordinated with each other whenever we missed our classes. And the enriching sessions, like though we read about psychology, we had a psychology degree. That was actually the real sessions, the real practicing of these sessions, the practicing of how to counsel a student. So instead of having a theoretical knowledge, the practical sessions, the practical knowledge, what we gained from these sessions was really helpful for us to go forward. So I'm very much thankful to Vijay Reddy sir, Ganeshan sir, Suresh sir, Ashok sir, and Chindi Simon ma'am. Very thankful to all of you. And actually, I'm a student of Vimla Garu. I'm very happy that our professor ma'am is also here. I'm very much thankful because she's our professor. I learned from many things from ma'am. And thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir, like for this very informative session, which actually helped us to go forward in our life. Thank you so much, sir.
Durga Bhavani. Baba Vajrala.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, thank you for the opportunity given to be a part of this 3 months program. So really the program was very helpful. And then the expert which you have chosen for these sessions were really excellent, sir. So we learned, many things as a practical aspects. Since I am in this field for the more than 20 years, so I learned many things. Thank you so much once again for the WCOP, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Baba Vajrala. Next, Santosh Deepti.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. It is very helpful for me. Last week, I went for an interview, and this session has given me a great opportunity to discuss few things with them. And I am very thankful to all the members of WCOP and VG Reddy sir for giving this opportunity, because practically I am more exposed during these 3 months of training session, and it is very helpful to me. Not only that, in my career also it's very useful. Thank you, sir, for conducting this kind of sessions. And also I thank Ashok sir and Chindi Simon ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Deepti. Then Deepa Sahu. Deepa Sahu. Then Vani Panipaka.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
We are very thankful to you, sir, for giving me this type of opportunity. First of all, at the joining day, we are not expecting this type of approach from WCOP. We are not expect this informative and very practical knowledge we gain. We are very thankful to you, sir. We are eagerly waiting for family counseling. Thank you all of you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Sahina, Dr. Sahina.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please.
Good evening to all esteemed members of WCOP and all the participants. This course is very insightful, and have learned quite a lot. I believe I will be better able to understand persons around me. Really, it helped me a lot to understand the people. So I would like to express my immense gratitude to Professor B.G. Reddy sir, Professor Vedagiri Ganeshan sir, Dr. Ashok sir, and Chinni Saman ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma. Lata Bhavani. Yeah, anyone? Any of the participants, please?
Good evening to all of you. I am Dasha Gaur, sir.
Pardon?
I am Dasha Gaur, sir.
Ah, Dashagar.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Sir, sir, I am very grateful to Mr. Vedagiri Ganeshan sir, B.G. Reddy sir, for their outstanding lectures, guidelines, suggestions during this training period, sir. Sir, we have learned a lot of things, and especially from some psychological problems, sir. Sir, thank you very much for this opportunity given to me for undergoing this training, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Very kind of you.
Right. Thank you, Dashagar. Now, Hemalata.
Very good evening to all the dignitaries. Good evening, Professor Vedagiri Ganeshan sir. Good evening, B.G. Reddy sir. Good evening, Simon ma'am, Ashok sir, and all the dignitaries who have helped us a lot in this aspect in learning the psychological practical. We have learned from our textbooks a lot of subject, but which is not sufficient for us at all. But here we have learned this, we have learned a lot of practical knowledge which through our lifetime in counseling the children, and we are eagerly waiting join the family counseling also, sir. Thank you, B.G. Reddy sir, for being with us. You are helping us just like a student as well as a professor. You are all in one, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Simon ma'am also. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Sachi Sukla is there. Then.
Good evening, sir. This is Prabha Joseph here.
Yeah, please.
Greetings and good wishes to all the eminent personalities and the co-participants. I'm glad to be a participant of today's session. It's such a wonderful and informative session, and I'm looking forward for the more sessions in future. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay. Now, at the outset, as President of WCOP, World Congress of Psychologists, I wholeheartedly thank for consistent effort made by Professor Vedagiri Ganeshan sir since the beginning of this program, and I have liberty to interact with him just now and then any time in order to just any kind of modifications or changes. So with his strong support and enriched knowledge as far as this training programs are concerned, today I think I have forwarded the feedback given by the 25 participants who underwent this certificate, 3-month certificate course on school counseling. This credit goes to our chairperson and renowned trainer, Professor Vedagiri Ganeshan sir, because time to time, at each step, at every stage, he was quite helpful. So I really, on my personal behalf and on behalf of WCOP, I sincerely, with the befolded hands, I thank you, Professor Vedagiri Ganeshan sir, for your marvelous extensive help which you have rendered towards this successful completion of this 3 months certificate course on school counseling. And these 25 students got benefited a lot. They have learned all skills, and now they're all implementing these learned skills in respective institutions, and they are getting very good feedback also. That is the milestone as far as this training program is concerned. So once again, I thank you very much, sir. At every stage you have guided us. This since the beginning, and before this program also, we have conducted more than 3 months continuous training programs on different topics. So really, there are no words to express my gratitude to you, sir. And with your support, already in another district of Andhra Pradesh, one DO came forward to conduct again this 3 months certificate program on school counseling, and he just suggested me to give representation. I submitted the representation to the people who has suggested, and in no time it is going to be materialized, and he is showing a lot of interest in conducting this again 3 months certificate course on school counseling. That because Professor Chief Guest Professor Mishraji is also with us, and with the help of Professor Ganeshan sir and other core committee members, we just planned to go for conduction of similar such program 3 months certificate course on family counseling, because our Indian system, total Indian system is in families are concerned, it is really a little bit doldrums. You know, it needs the family setup, particularly the Hindu system. Once we were with the joint family system, but today we are just shifted over to this family system. That's why, and naturally the values are getting deteriorated, and because of the influence of Western culture, system is in it needs, the families needs a lot of skilled counseling in order to keep up the so-called just harmonious life as far as families are concerned. We planned it, and simultaneously these two programs comes also, we are in a position to conduct simultaneously these two programs. That I have just I have the courage with our team of experts, and we can move further positively in order to complete the program, the two announced programs. Now, I wholeheartedly and with befolded hands, I really extend my personal thanks, and also the thanks on behalf of World Congress of Psychologists as president to our here Bhishma is sitting with us, and here this side Drona is sitting with us, and two gurus are there, and really they are deserve what I suggest or what I uttered from my mouth. One is Drona, another one is Bhishma. Really, I thank the so-called Drona Bhishma, particularly Girishwar Mishra ji, is one in top 10 psychologists. Really, we really feel proud of announcing just on behalf of this August gathering. Thank you very much, sir. So, just we are moving with your blessings, program by program, and all over India, particularly the so-called professors, psychology professors. You see, here I have not followed any kind of protocol or anything. Just I am entering into the that net system. Just from there, I am requesting professors. So, professor, you be with us as chairperson. Professor, you be with us as chief guest. Professor, you be with us as special invitee. So that was the privilege and God's help towards me in order to just draft the people for each event. It is really a God's blessings. But the preparation of each brochure. But I have not just requested them 1 week in advance. It is not possible. It is not possible. If we go on advance just 5 days or 6 days, it is not possible. So I really, on my personal behalf and on my own, on behalf of all Congress of Psychologists, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, the so-called resource persons, as well as chief guests, as well as special invitees, as well as guest of honors, those who have helped this WCOP 3 months training program, quite immemorable. Just there are no words to say. The thanks, there are no words. But anyway, I must be grateful to them. The total WCOP team is grateful to the so-called VIPs. And you know, after entering in this 3 months certificate course, actually the idea, the certificate course idea is being given by our Misraji. Sir, we are in toto, whatever way you have expected, we kept up to 10% level. Particularly, every day we have uploaded to this
YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube also consistently, and now very good feedback we are receiving from the YouTube also. See, then actually my join bounds just quite thrilling, particularly participants. So after before starting of the program, I requested the participants, I gave 2 formats and in color print. So daily we will be discussing about power to 5 problems by our renowned trainer Ganeshan sir and other resource from persons from all over India. So out of 5 or 6 problems, every day, each participant, I requested them to just note down, just to write a record for 2 problems. So the participants are really quite enthusiastic, and they have submitted the 2 records every day. So 25 participants and 25 participants in the sense 25 sessions. So 50 record sheets are with us for each candidate. 50 record sheets are with us. Why? Because I gave an instruction. Tomorrow, no one should not question us. You see, there is a record. for each participant. 50 record sheets are with us. And we requested them finally to submit in the form of a PDF. And I think majority of the candidates submitted. And really thanks to the beloved participants. Without you, I think this program may not be a successful one. And here, course coordinator, Dr. Ashok, and the Chinny Simon, the rapporteur of the program. Daily I will be sharing and discussing and what to do and what not to do. So, and I always discussing with Professor V. Suresh, treasurer of our Wcop, and Sudhakar Reddy. Now he gave a lecture. I also share with some of the ideas with him also. So core committee members, other core committee members who supported me, and the executive committee members who supported the program. Last but not the least, without the technical help, here I would like to I think all the time I'm just Shyam. He's my family friend, and he is the person. He's a BTech and software engineer, and out of love and affection towards me, so he is maintaining all these technical help, sir. So without him, today our program may not be a quite successful one. Thanks to our young boy, our Shyam. Because when I was doing my PhD, his father was a teacher. I used to go to his school to collect my data for my PhD. Since then, we are being acquainted with this family. So that is the love and affection towards Shyam and myself. So I sincerely thank you because he is a highly knowledgeable man and highly patient, to help us. And daily, he is the person who all the time sending just a mail to our Professor Misraji, and he helped a lot. So I think
Sir, BG Red, sir, small interruption, sir. Sorry.
Please.
You have not mentioned about the e-certificate to all the participants, guests, invitees,
we are showing now.
Okay, sir.
We are showing.
Okay.
And today's program also we have already covered and we have prepared the certificates. Oh. Yeah. So this is the certificate, e-certificate. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is the e-certificate. We just prepared to the participants. Here, this is a sample one. And of course, I may be failed. If not, I may just extend thanks to Ramadevi also. In the absence of Cindy Simon, he used to just help us, doing acting as a program coordinator for the success of this 3 or 4 programs. She was with us and helped a lot. So on behalf of my personal behalf and on behalf of WCP, I extend thanks to Ramadevi also. So this is a model one. Similar such one, of course, we have prepared, but the only thing, people who have submitted, we will be anyway, we will be issuing the certificates tonight itself through mail. Then remaining people, kindly, I am requesting you, any one of you could not be able to submit, kindly submit by tomorrow evening. Definitely, we are here to just, we don't want to, why? Because, you know, you will be busy otherwise. Submit that reports so that it is also quite hale and healthy, so that we have completed one program effectively without any penny, and we can move to next program. So that is our ambition. So, and we have prepared another 90 certificates to these so-called resource persons, then special invitees, chief guests, then guest of honor. We have not just, we have covered all. So we will distribute, we will send, submit those certificates
to the mails
with thanks, a lot of thanks on behalf of WCOP and on my personal behalf. With thanks only, this time we are just submitting all the certificates to the chief guest resource persons, because we have not, this time we are not going to give any monetary help. For next program, definitely we are planning to give some kind of monetary help also to the resource persons. So I think I have covered all the I think people who have helped us. Once again, thanks to our chairman of the program, Professor Ganeshan sir, and another just well-wisher, Professor Misraji, who helped a lot just in guiding us in the right direction. And also thank our core committee members and executive committee members, and Cindy Simon and course coordinator Ashok, then our Sham, technical coordinator, and our beloved participants. Kindly just we are going to start the family counseling program 1 week later. So you now that you are enriched with all counseling skills, now you all become good counselors. Now try to catch each person, catch hold of one another psychologist, so that we can extend some kind of training skills to the other person. That's my just a request to all the participants. Why? Because, you know, I sent a message in that family counseling one also. See, 25 people have completed, have learned, undergone training, and these 25 people are training to 2,500 people, and these 2,500 people then you training to 25,000. Like that, you know, one should work like a soldier. One should work like a soldier. Then only our motto of WCOP is going to be fulfilled. Train yourself and train others. It is quite easy, simple effort, right? Kindly, I am submitting my request to all the participants. Another weekdays are there. Each person try to help. Tell your friend and ask them to enroll for the family counseling, so that our ambition, our motto have to definitely with this tempo, we can move, we can do wonders. Definitely, we can reach the WCOP motto. So once again, Ganeshan sir, anything left? Ganeshan sir, anything?
I think, Professor Reddy, you have covered the whole thing. Thanks a lot.
I should say, sir, thank you, because, you know, because of you and Mishraji, today today's program was quite grand success. Really, it's all because of God is a blessing, like anything on all the participants and all the chief patrons, then WCOP committee members, core committee members, executive committee members. Once again, kindly make a note, please. at least try to catch one person, one psychology, raw graduate, raw postgraduate, so that each person, if you go, it is simple. Just, I think your batchmates will be there. So with that, just simple request, just enrollment, definitely we will reach our WCOP motto. So once again, if anyone I have not thanked kindly, just I'm submitting my any sorries if I have not covered anyone. So I think everybody, Usharani from Chittor, then here majority of my psychology students are there, and from this time for this program, and the professors from North also, they have sent their own students for, with their support, with their direction, with their motivation. Many students got enrolled for this school counseling program. I hope, and already 25 candidates enrolled for family counseling also. I am expecting many more participants just 1 week later. Again, the same team, I am requesting our Professor Misraji now itself to be with us as chief guest, and our Professor Ganeshan sir to be with us as chairperson and chairman of the program. And the same team, Chini Simon will be acting as a rapporteur.
Huh?
And, yeah, no problem. I understood. You have informed me because she is attending. Our daughter is going to just deliver. I understood. Anyway, we will request our own team of people. Ramadevi is there, or other some people, they can help us. No problem. That is not an issue.
As much as possible, I'll try to attend, sir, definitely.
Yeah, okay. Right. And our course coordinator, Ashok, is also there. So, advanced, this is my invitation for the coming family counseling 3 months certificate program. Misraji, again, he will be with us as chief guest, and Professor Ganeshan sir will be with us as chairperson. Right. Thank you, one and all. Thank you, one and all. Good day. Good night. Good night.
Sir, thank you, Shyam sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.